professional to assist you in this side of the business. I know it costs money, but isn't the bigger cost losing out on the chance to become a homeowner and building your wealth because you filed your taxes incorrectly? And Keyzia, thank you. This education is so important, and this discussion is important, and you host many of these, and you're making a difference, educating and informing and preparing people. I think Keyzia, you had Ronnie on last week, and he was a certified CPA. He knew his stuff. So I'd say reach out to him. You can also reach out to me for referrals for qualified professionals. Did you know that CPAs are a lender's good friend?
Right.
Yeah, they really are.
Absolutely. And like that information, those tips and those tricks that you just shared for our self-employed borrowers, I think it really, really will go a long way. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Another thing I want to mention, maybe a tip or tactic, is think about paying estimated quarterly taxes, because taxes creep up at the end of the year, and that's when it may be tempting to start taking shortcuts, to say it nicely. In government speak, that would be committing fraud. So budget for taxes during the year. That's an important thing too.
I couldn't agree more with you, Christine. Taxes are so important in our industry, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely, Christina. And Donovan, that really brings me to my next question is, like, what is your favorite part? You can't hear me? Can you hear me? No, you can't hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. What about now, Donovan?
Perfect.
Okay, awesome.
Perfect. You got a keyboard over there, because I say it and then you just make it happen. Nice.
So that's my next question, because Christina just brought up a very good point about like having business owners having to like rush, as a really rush to like get their documents or to pay their taxes. And so sometimes it's a bit of a challenge to work with business owners at times. What would you say your favorite part about working with business owners is?
My favorite part about working with business owners is they keep me on my toes, right? They steel sharpen steel, and I stand by that. They look at homes with a little bit more scrutiny. When you're looking at a home, residential property for a family, or maybe just a single person who wants to buy a home, they're usually looking at it for, can I live in this home for the next 10, 20, 30 years, right? If they're taking a 15-year loan or maybe even a 30-year loan. Business owners are always thinking about their bottom line and how many pennies can I squeeze out of this asset, right? So they're looking at it with, okay, Donovan, what is my cash flow going to be? How many units can we put in here? Sometimes they're looking at house hacking. Can I live in one side and rent out the other side? Looking at the property as a whole, can I add another unit in the back, maybe an ADU, alternative dwelling unit? So they always, and every once in a while they'll ask me a question that I'm like, I have not heard that one yet. So they keep me on my toes and they keep me sharp, and they keep me abreast to all the changes that happen in our market.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're absolutely right. Business owners, I myself, I'm always looking for ways to, make some stuff work, because ultimately, home ownership also can be a form of capital, right? A form of capital to build business, and really be able to like make things work. Most like large companies have like investors or lots of money in capital, and it's just one of those things. So speaking of money, Christina, can you share with our audience, specifically our self-employed borrowers?
I can't hear you again, Keyzia.
Christina, can you hear me?
Can hear you.
Okay.
There we go.
Donovan, there's your internet, or there's your computer.
Is that me?
Yes, that's you, because Christina can hear me.
I know, but I don't know what you keep pushing, but when you push it, it brings me back in. So I apologize to everybody out there. I appreciate you guys for being a part of our broadcast and things as we figure out these hiccups. I'm trying my best to read lips over here. I just want to make this
we just gonna put it in the chat. Christina, can you put it in the chat?
Yeah, put it in the chat. I've never used this before. This is a great.
my issue is like it keeps like lagging, so I'm sorry if I miss questions, but I think do you want me to answer that question you just started asking about calculating?
Well, yeah, I was gonna ask because
income?
Donovan had mentioned about self-employed borrowers squeezing pennies, right? And so sometimes they need to know how many pennies to squeeze, right? So can you share the little? I think you need to spill the tea. Spill the tea on how to calculate self-employed income.
Yes, yeah, I'm happy to do that. Again, I just want to mention I am not a CPA. I'm not a tax professional, but just a little bit about the mortgage industry. I hope I'm still in there. I hope I'm still in. I'm not sure if the internet cut out, but
yes, no, you are. You're still here.
Okay, so just in general, you may or may not know a borrower who's salaried or hourly that receives a W-2. We look at your gross income. It is different for self-employed borrowers. Like Donovan was mentioning, self-employed people can reduce their tax liability by writing off work-related expenses, such as rent, meals, subscriptions, travel, and on and on. And while these write-offs do save the self-employed borrower money in their tax liability, the write-offs can have a negative effect on your mortgage eligibility. So from our viewpoint, as a lender, a lower taxable income looks like a lower income. So we never use your top line income because that's not what you pay your bills with. And on that point, the question about how much to write off comes up regularly, and that is a CPA question. They can help guide you where to take less deductions if you are preparing to buy a home. I think Ronnie touched on that last week. Remember, your tax professional is your advocate, so find someone you trust. But we will recommend honesty and accuracy. No one ever wants to be audited. That is no fun. We don't recommend amending your tax returns to qualify. Be truthful, do the right thing. And remember, if you write off too much, it's a double-edged sword because your financing is dependent on your cash flow. So I didn't reinvent the wheel. I use a customized cash flow calculator to calculate income. All lenders have one, of course. I think ours is the best. There are certain things we can add back in, business use of home, depreciation, sometimes other stuff, but it's situation specific. I did have a borrower close on her first home last week. She's a business owner. She designs and fabricates seating interiors custom made for collectible cars, trucks, and boats. And I got to see her studio. It was amazing. Her loan was denied by another lender. I'm really not sure why. We were able to save the deal. It was pretty easy. What this borrower had done right from the beginning of her business was find a trusted CPA who knew her business inner workings. And her CPA became my best friend in the process, and she was providing all the updated documents that underwriting needed. So all we really had to do was to create a story. Her business is seasonal, and the profit and loss looked a little different from the previous 2 years, and we had to create the story showing why her business was seasonal. And her CPA, we worked as a team for her. I'm so happy for her. She closed on her first home last week. She's a single mom, a business owner. I'm not sure why it fell through with the other lender, but find yourself a lender who specializes in self-employed. The big box national lenders don't know how to calculate the income correctly. So find someone you trust and start interviewing now, ahead of time, see what you're working with. So that's
this is an interview. You're doing a great job, Christina. You're killing the game.
Thanks.
All right. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes, I can hear
yes.
You. Right. So Donovan, Christina touched on a lot of things. I feel like I'm blurry. Okay. So Christina touched on a lot of things in regards to just preparing the self-employed borrower in regards to finances, right? Like she said, get your CPA together, make sure they know your business. For you, Donovan, what would you say the top 3 things are you feel a business owner should do to prepare to purchase their first or second home?
So if you're purchasing a home and you're looking to make it an investment, right? as a self-employed borrower, or you just, maybe not looking to make an investment. You just want it to be a place where you want to live. The first thing you want to do is identify what your strategy is. So deciding, is this going to be my primary residence where, I'm sleeping, my family's sleeping, and we're putting a roof over our head for the next, X number of years, or is this going to be an investment property? And if it is going to be an investment property, what is my exit strategy, or what is my cash flow strategy? Is it going to be a long-term rental? We have long-term rentals, right, which are great if you're going to have tenants in there for a year, 2 years at a time. Then we got short-term rentals. Maybe we're doing an Airbnb style, or we're having, traveling nurses come through, and they're going to be there for a limited amount of time. Maybe it's seasonal, where it's students living in there, things like that. And then you also want to know, maybe, am I going to do a multifamily? So a lot of things, what people can do is you could take a single property, you can demolition it, you can rezone it and make it a multifamily, or you can look at, how can I put a wall in here and a partition and turn this into maybe a duplex or a triplex. So that's one of the first things, is know what my strategy is going to be when I'm buying this property. Is it residential, I'm living in it, or am I investing and getting value out of it? And then self-employed, you're probably going to figure out, how am I going to take title? So what we always have to think about is, who is our business, and how are we going to be filing our taxes, and what income are we looking at? If I'm using Marching to More Solutions LLC as the title holder of the house, well, that taxes is going to be completely different than if I use Donovan McFadden, right, as the single person. So, knowing how you're going to take title is going to drastically change how I'm going to figure out your strategy. Because if I'm looking the LLC route, me and my title company, we're going to be having a different conversation than if it's just you, a person, or maybe a couple and a wife, husband and a wife, who's going to take over this house. And then you want to get your team together. All right. So in my notes, I put proper financing, but I think the better language to use is what Christina said, a team, right? You are going to need your tax professional. You're going to need your realtor. You're going to need your loan officer. You're going to need your title company. And the way to find these people is, obviously, you want competent professionals, but you want people that you can trust and relate to. All right. We're going to be working with any of you guys, residential or a business owner, investor types. We're going to be working with our clients for 30, 45, 60 days sometimes. I know that's never good to hear, right? We're not ideally trying to be with people for 60 days, but if we have to, we want to make sure they're likable people. We want to make sure that our personalities match. We want to make sure that you're not trying to hang up on me every 5 minutes, because we need to have very intimate conversations about your financial life and your personal life. All right. Our financial and personal lives blend when we talk about our dwellings, where we're going to live at and where we're investing. So that's probably going to be my top 3 things, guys. It's going to be decide your strategy, how you're going to take title, and then start building your team.
Christina, do you have anything you want to add to that? Because I know for a fact you got something to add to that.
That's good. I don't know if Keyzia is back in. That was good, Donovan.
Thank you. I'm trying. I've been doing this for a while, trying my best out here. We rolling with the punches too, all the technical punches.
Christina, did you have anything that you wanted to add to what Donovan said in regards to lifestyle? Because I know, purchasing a home is like, one of the biggest, processes that you could ever make, right? Like, it's one of those things that, like, they assess everything. As a mortgage underwriter, I know we can pretty much tell a person's lifestyle. We can pretty much know almost who they are as a person by just looking at a bank statement, and because those are things that we review. Yeah. Did you have anything that you wanted to add to what Donovan said?
I like what he said about, we have the intimate, professional and intimate, crossover when we think about buying a home. Like, and Keyzia just mentioned, when we look at bank statements, we can really tell a lifestyle, and there's no judgment here, but we can help, guide you, but we see it all. So yeah, there's not even, room.
Yeah,
some people I find like are embarrassed. I thought I coined the term like credit shame, or don't want their bank statements to be seen. I can't express enough. There's no judgment. I myself have worked through, I had a 505 credit score 7 years ago, and I'm near an 800 right now. Like, just having the awareness, like get it out there, talk about it, let someone help you. But yes, that intimate, we do get intimate, and you want to work with someone that you like and that you trust. So yeah, those were good points.
I like that you said credit shame. That was a great term. I left college with probably a 500 credit score as well. I was wilding, you know what I mean? I was financially illiterate, wilding. So please have no shame when you come to us, guys. We are reformed, people who were doing the same things. We didn't always know what we knew, but we figured out, we took upon ourselves to learn this stuff. And now that we know, we must share, we must give back. That's why I feel like we're giving back to the community a lot of times.
Yeah, that point. I feel like that too, giving back and having walked through it, myself. Yeah, good point.
Absolutely. So this question is for the both of you. What have you found the biggest challenges are with new self-employed borrowers versus seasoned self-employed borrowers? And I'll let Christina go first.
Okay, yeah. The biggest challenges, I'd say number one is not handling past due taxes appropriately. If you are on a tax repayment plan, no problem. We can work with this. Do bear in mind, we have to count the plan into your DTI. It may lower your purchasing power, but we can work with it. Number two, I would say not filing taxes correctly. Don't have your cousin's brother's mother file your taxes unless, of course, they are a licensed professional, then heck yes, use FAM. But it is critical from the beginning of your business that you establish a relationship with a trained and licensed tax professional. I'm going to say that a lot tonight. If you don't do it right from the beginning, it will bite you in the behind. We had another client whose cousin's friend had filed incorrectly with the IRS. And when we pulled transcripts, there were multiple files, and the client didn't even know what copy the IRS had. A third additional challenge when not filing correctly would be improperly deducting things that shouldn't be deducted. Again, I'm not the tax professional. Please seek counsel for one. But another little story, Katie on my team just had another loan where a guy had written off his grandmother's medical bills on his barbershop tax returns. And unfortunately, that didn't fly. So let's see what else. For the new self-employed borrower, remember the first year typically shows a loss because of startup costs, and don't get discouraged. And for seasoned self-employed borrowers, we've seen that they get comfortable showing a certain amount of income every year. So when your business is actually growing, we can't unfortunately give you credit for your growth if your bottom line doesn't reflect. So I'd say that for seasoned and that stuff.
Asking it to both of us.
Yep.
I would simply just say, from my perspective, I'm more of a relationship person. I'm the guy in the middle. You know what I mean? I'm directing traffic. Who do you need to talk to? Who do you need to talk to? I'm not necessarily a subject matter expert on, finances, or even when I'm looking at the structural integrity or constructural integrity of a house or anything like that. But I need to know enough to be legal. And the difference between a new buyer versus a seasoned buyer most often is just how much they know. A person who knows the industry and has done this maybe 2-3 times, they're usually like, hey, Donovan, this is my taste. This is what I like. This is what I don't like. I like to be contacted at these hours in this specific manner, as opposed to, some of my newer buyers, they may reach out to me at like 9 o'clock at night. You know what I mean? Hey, Donovan, I was just wondering. It's like, hey, guys, that was not that big of a question. I could definitely be handled via text or in the morning. You know what I mean? I think like some older buyers are a little bit more respectful for their time. And self-employed borrowers or, self-employed buyers are usually good at just like respecting the relationship too, because we all are professionals and we all understand like this is the business and stuff. So seasoned buyers, they're just a little bit easier because they've been here before. We've done this, they just point, I shoot, a newer person is like, okay, but what next? What next? And there's a lot of questions, and there's never an issue with that. We've been there before. And as I told you guys, don't ever be ashamed of it because we have been there, and that's why we're here. So, if I'm being honest, I kind of like a newer person a little bit more than an older person, because a newer person doesn't know what they don't know. And so they're kind of like, can you help me? You know, and I'm like, most definitely, I would love to help you. Seasoned person is like, Donovan, did you do this? Did you do that? It's like, hey guys, I got a process. I'm working through my process, and it may be different than what you're used to, but I'm going to cross all my T's and I'm going to dot my I's. Please don't, rush the process. Trust the process.
Well, Donovan, I guess my next question to you is, what would you say the biggest challenges are when it comes to self-employed borrowers?
The biggest challenge. What would the biggest challenge be? I think the biggest challenge is just the hurdles of the if you're new to it, right? It's just not knowing everything. And so that's when I would send them over to my subject matter expert, Christina here, the loan officer, and just really figure out what their financial house looks like. I'm going to give you estimates. I'm always saying I would estimate. I think my biggest guesstimate would be, because I don't like speaking to people factually about the numbers, because when you guys get to looking at that Alta or that HUD-1 and that number's a little bit off, I don't want you yelling at me about it, because that's not necessarily my job. That's going to be our title company's job. That's going to be our lender's job. So it's usually just guiding them and directing them to the right person, and letting the subject matter experts, right, go ahead and direct them.
Wonderful. So what would you say the best practice is on what steps to take when a self-employed borrower makes the decision that they want to purchase a home, Donovan?
Okay. So if you are ready to make the home, all right, construct a plan, right? So you're going to construct your plan, get everything together. A lot of people are going to ask me, all right, Donovan, well, when should I be planning? You got people calling you and you're like, hey guys, we're not looking for a house 3 years out. All right, well then don't have any conversations. The world could change in 3 years. Am I right? Yes. All right. We've all been through this COVID pandemic. The world can change in 3 years. So 3 years is a little far out, but if you're within the 18-month window, that's when you want to start constructing your plan. If you're within 18 months, I don't see any reason why you're not thinking about who your preferred lender is going to be, and all those things that I told you before, right? What's my top 3 things? What is my game plan? What's my strategy? How will I take title? That's when you want to be 18 months out. You know what I mean? If you're on the Zillows, just know that house will not be there in 18 months. But it's okay to start formulating a plan. When you're at your 12-month mark, that's when you want to start saving religiously, right? So we identify what our goals are. Now let's start getting that down payment ready. Let's start getting that closing cost ready. A lot of people don't always know about closing costs. Everybody knows about the down payment. They forget about closing costs. Get your closing costs ready, things like that. So I would save religiously. When you're at your 6-month mark, we're looking at a checkup. You know what I mean? Hey, Donovan, we've been talking. We had the 18-month. We hit the 12-month mark. Hey, I'm going to call you. I might reach out or you reach out to me. Hey, where should we be moving? You know what I mean? Because that 6 months can go by really fast. We're in July, guys. I still thought we were in 2020. That 6 months can go by really fast. All right. So we're halfway through the year already. And you want to just start thinking like, hey, what's the market looking like, Christina? What's my interest rates? If we were talking in February, which was about 4 months ago, interest rates look completely different than right now. Is that right, Christina?
That is correct.
Exactly. So that's when you want to start touching in with everybody. And then at the 3-month mark, that's when we start pointing and shooting. All right. So we're going to be out there looking at the houses and things like that. Because if you remember, it could take anywhere between 30, 45, maybe even 90 days to close the transaction, get it through escrow. So that's when we want to start house hunting and getting everything in order and, really sealing the deal and winning the day. That's when I'm trying to score the goals, guys, in that 3-month mark.
Absolutely. Marching to more, sealing the deal, right?
Exactly.
Christina, what about you? What would you say, how far in advance financially someone should be preparing to purchase their first home or their second home?
Donovan, I need a breakdown of your timeline. I love how you just did that. Yes, to everything you said. I love how you did. Yeah, awesome. But I agree with everything you're saying. This strategy, it takes time. I was, for a self-employed person, I would say, plan Donovan, we were talking about 18 months out, I think, for any buyer. But for self-employed people, how far in advance? Everyone should always be preparing to buy a home, right? You're not building a wealth if you're not buying a home. But specifically for the self-employed borrower, I'd say 2 years of preparation. If you haven't been working with a tax professional, that's okay. Start now. It's like Donovan said, it's never too early to speak with a lender, interview. It's no cost or obligation to you to start talking. Let's build a strategy, get that team behind you. And Donovan, I want to touch on, and I feel the same way. I love the relational side of this industry. And I build relationships with my clients, usually invited to their home after they close. I mean, I stay in touch and build relationships with my clients. So it is never too early to start interviewing. And yeah, good plan you had there. I need that sent to me, please.
I got you. I'll type it up. And you're
I
right.
was gonna say the template. Go ahead and send it a template. I don't know. We might need to send the template to everybody. Okay. So my next question is for both of you. What are the benefits of working with you as a self-employed borrower? And we'll go to Donovan first.
Mr. Marchand and Moore, I have this real estate team that we're starting, which we plan on growing into a brokerage at some point in the future. I have a partner in a marketing team. I'm a part of a BNI, which means that once a week I'm meeting with business owners, people who are looking to invest, people who are at the top of their game, and they're providing wealth for other people and jobs and opportunities. So one of the benefits is that I know exactly who you are. I can relate. When we talk about relationships, having someone on your level who speaks your language, right? I think earlier, Christina said DTI, and I was like, I hope everybody knows what DTI means, right? That's income ratio. But there's those little nuances, right? It's the nuance of how we speak to each other, how we relate. And then my past is I've been working since I was 13. So I just love working. If you about money, if you want to talk about money, I'll listen. And that does not mean I know everything, right? I'm here to listen, and that's even to any of my buyers. If you're buying a house or selling a house with me, do I know everything? No, but I'm gonna go figure out that thing for you. If you want to spend the time learning everything and Googling, sure, be my guest. But you could just hire Donovan, and he'll do that for you. You know what I mean? I think that's probably one of the benefits. I think everybody who I work with, I'm kind of a workhorse, and I love what I do. And I love it. I care about business, and I care about your business, not a check. All right. So we're marching to more giving, more community, and more prosperity. Nowhere in there did I say more money, more dollars, none of that, because that's not what's going to be here when we're gone. What's going to be here is, that generational wealth, that legacy that we're going to pass down. And that's what I care about.
Absolutely. Thank you, Donovan. What about you, Christina?
Yeah. So Donovan mentioned having a team. The benefit of working with me too is that I am on a team. I have a team supporting me, and we support each other. And my team closed over 300 loans last year, half of which was self-employed borrowers. So I would say we are experts. Speaking of team, my mentor and team lead has an MBA and a background in bank management. I also have the benefit of being a local lender. I'm enmeshed in the local market. These big box national lenders cannot calculate your self-employed cash flow really properly. I think last week, I can't see where the viewers are, but I think you have people from different states. So I would say find yourself a lender who doesn't just work in a call center 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. You want someone who specializes in self-employed borrowers. And also, Donovan, you mentioned, and I have this prepared too, like I do not know everything. We have extensive, lengthy guidelines that change all the time. Keyzia, you know this, you're in underwriting. I do know everything but I can find out for you, and I have the access to do that. And we are not only responsive, we are proactive in communication, so we can find out for you. We can help people get connected with local IRS office to get any of those issues resolved in a timely fashion too. So yeah, the benefit of being on a team and that we actually specialize in self-employed borrowers would be a great reason to work with myself and Donovan.
Absolutely. That's a lot of amazing benefits. I don't think that anybody should go anywhere else. Why else? It don't even make sense. All right. So for all my business owners out there, those of you that are watching the replay, definitely get connected to both Donovan and Christina. Donovan is going to help you find the right property. He's going to help you, negotiate everything that you need to negotiate, because that's one of the things that a lot of people don't realize. A lot of people out here thinking that they just go online and find them a house. They have no idea about contracts and all that stuff. So it's really important that you that you connect with Donovan. And when it comes to Christina, like she said, I'm in the mortgage industry, so like I know like there are some lenders out there that, especially the ones that are online, shout out, I ain't trying to knock their hustle to the online lenders that can get it done real fast, but if something go wrong, you don't really have no real person to connect with, you know what I mean, that you can be able to talk to. So you definitely want to link up with someone like Christina, because she is like very personal. Like she's gonna definitely work with you and treat you like a human and not just a number or a computer. Now this last question is for both of you. What events or opportunities do you have for our listeners and our viewers to connect with you that you have coming up? And we'll start with Christina.
Sorry, the internet cut out. I don't know who you called on first, and I'm sorry.
Oh, I called on you. I said about any like events or anything that you have coming up.
Yes, I'd love to share. Thank you. So this Saturday, I am hosting a first-time home buyer workshop in Franklin, Virginia. And that will be, just getting people prepared. It's going to be a 3-hour workshop. We'll have a realtor, insurance agent there, and I will be talking about credit challenges. I cannot market myself as a credit repair professional, but I sure can tell you how that plays into getting prepared for getting into a mortgage. So that's a first-time homebuyer workshop. And then I will let Donovan talk about another home buying workshop we have coming up, because he is hosting. He has invited me to be there too. That is in August. But I'm always available for Zoom calls, coffee meetups, phone calls. I do my business from my personal cell phone, so I'm available. So do reach out. But we have a couple of those workshops coming up, so I'm excited for those.
Most definitely. Yeah. And giving back to the community is what we do with the workshops. So as Christina stated, she has one coming up this weekend. And then we also have one next month. So it seems like once a month almost, Christina. Great job. August 20th, we will be over at Kingdom Embassy Church in Norfolk, Virginia. So anybody in the local area, come out to Kingdom Embassy Church. We'll be over there talking about the home buying process. We'll be talking about insurance. We'll be talking about mortgages and interest rates for everybody. I love an opportunity for me and my partner, Mr. Roger Lee Realty, to get out to the community and connect with people one-on-one. I firmly believe that real estate is a contact sport, meaning we got to go out and talk to people, meet people. You know what I mean? I'm not a fan of these online buy a home, sell a home thing, because you can't smell a home online. You know what I mean? You can't see that crack or that leaning foundation online, because the picture was probably taken at the perfect angle so they could hide that, right? So I'm about meeting in person, guys. And then networking through Virginia Beach JCs. So anybody in our local area, if you know the Virginia Beach JCs, I'm a member of that organization, so I always like to promote them. If you guys would like to come out and see me out in the community, that's where I do my volunteer work and really impact the community from a non-financial standpoint. I just like being out there. I'm a people person, so I'm always out there. Also, if you are looking to invest, I got a duplex for sale starting tomorrow. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and say that, put that into existence. My sellers will sell this duplex for top dollar, because that's what we do when we help them march to more. And that's pretty much it, guys. If you guys ever have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. Donovan D. McFadden, 757-206-2859. Give me a call, send me a text message. I love to talk. I love to connect.
Awesome. And I was going to ask you, Christina, is there any like loans or anything or products that you guys have that would be beneficial to self-employed borrowers?
Sorry, the internet cut out. I think you're asking about products or loans we may have for self-employed borrowers. Okay, I see Donovan nodding. Okay, so
I'm taking notes too.
Okay. Well, it may be the best news to you. I often hear business owners asking about bank statement loans. I will tell you, these are very rarely a good fit, and someone can really truly qualify. You literally have to have millions of dollars as cash flow. It's a very complicated formula. It's also heavily regulated by the government. So if you are self-employed, you're more most likely going to be in regular financing, conventional, FHA, VA. Also, side note, though, we do VHDA, which is Virginia Housing Down Payment Assistance, government assistance for self-employed borrowers. There's a misconception that they cannot receive the VHDA financing. So that is good news. We are a VHDA lender, and we can extend that to borrowers. So yes, some banks will offer those bank statement loans, but I will tell you, a lot of people like to talk about them, but they're very complicated. So you do have access to VHDA financing. That's for Virginia. Each state has its own government program, but in Virginia, we are VHDA. So.
Awesome. Well, I am so grateful for both of you, coming and sharing with our viewers the different tips and tricks on starting the process of becoming homeowners as a self-employed borrower. Now I need y'all to tell my audience, like, how can they get in touch with you? How can they connect with you? We'll start with Donovan.
As I've already said, guys, feel free to text my phone, call my phone, blow my phone up with, questions or anything like that. 757-206-2859. All right. I wish I could have it go across the screen, but I wasn't. We didn't get that part right. And then next, if you guys want to connect with me on social media, you could find me at number one, www.marchingtomore.com. Number two, facebook.com/marching2more with the number 2, as you see on the screen. And then Instagram at Mr. Marching to More.
And Christina, can you share how our audience can connect with you?
Yes, I like what Donovan said. Same with me. You can text or call my cell phone. My phone number is 571-524-3701. I have a Northern Virginia area code, but I am local to Hampton Roads. Also, you can follow me on Instagram, Christina Cicero. I see you on the banner there. And same on Facebook, Christina Cicero. So you can follow me there and feel free to reach out. Like I said, I don't just work 9 to 5 Monday through Friday. We're developing a relationship here, so feel free to text or call whenever.
And that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. Well, thank you both for joining us. And if you guys have any questions, we normally do a Q&A, but I think that most of our listeners and our viewers are going to watch the replay, okay? I have a great feeling they're going to watch it over and over and over again as they prepare to purchase their first home. But thank you again so much, Christina and Donovan.
Thank you for having us, Keyzia. Yeah. It's a pleasure.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Great show here. Great questions.
Awesome. And guys, don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to share. And don't forget to click the notification bell so that you can learn more about how to run your business, start your business, have opportunities for capital, become an investor. And we will see you next time. Remember, don't be angry, be active. Peace.